You've seen those days in the life videos from real estate investors waking up at 5 a.m., grinding through back-to-back meetings, inspecting properties in the blazing heat and hustling until midnight. It's exhausting just watching them. But what if I told you that our typical day as land investors looks nothing like that? In fact, most people are shocked when they see how little time we actually spend working on our business. There's one thing about land investing that flashy real estate gurus don't want you to discover. The most profitable land business is often the most boring one. And in today's episode, we are giving you unfiltered, behind the scenes look at what our days look like and why the simplicity of this business model is precisely what makes it so powerful for creating true financial and time freedom. It's Nite Cap time. For those of you who don't know, I'm Mark Podolsky, also known as the Land Geek. I am joined tonight, as always, as we drink our various libations with John, handsome Rob Burnett. John, good seeing you, brother.
How are you? Good to be seen. Good. I like that we've got hats on the bottom today. Yesterday was hats on the top. So it's great. It's a good switch up.
I love it. We've got the Zen Master. Read the mailing. Read out the marketing. Mike Zano. Mike, how are you?
Good. I might sound funny, got a little allergies going on, but nothing hot water and whiskey can't handle.
Nothing like a little hot water, whiskey, and a little Nite Cap shame that won't get won't knock those allergies right away, as we just relentlessly make fun of it. And then, of course, last but not least, dude, buddy, the Nite Cap OG, Scott Bossman. Scott, how are you?
I'm great. My bourbon also has a function tonight. It's snowing sideways here in Wisconsin, so it's keeping me warm.
Yeah, I was just talking to Scott, like, why? Why are you there? The whole point of this life is freedom. He can live wherever he wants, work wherever he wants, with whomever he wants, and he chooses this.
Builds a lot of character.
He's just there for the cheese.
That's right. Cheese and beer.
Cheese and beer. So, which is a perfect segue into the day in the life of a land investor. So, John, what does the real life look like for you? What does a day look like as a land investor?
I mean, it doesn't involve a crazy amount of land investing. But yeah, I mean, for me, I fill up my time, and I like to get up early and work out, spend time with my family, take my kids to school after breakfast, and then I do work throughout the day, and I work on my land investing business, and I work on other things. But for me, like my land investing business, like a while ago, I budgeted out the time that I spent on it, and it was like 5.25 hours, right, a week. It's not a ton. Some weeks a lot more. If I'm working on like some strategic project for the company, but it doesn't take an enormous amount of my time. So generally, I'll look at some deals that get escalated to me if people want feedback on them as to whether or not we should acquire those specific properties. And I'll just kind of, like today I had working meetings with a few people that work for me where we just talked about marketing. I met with my executive assistant and talked about quarterly plans, met with an acquisitions person and just talked about our focus in that area. And and that was kind of it for me. So I came home and ate dinner, and here I am talking to you.
What was for dinner? What does a land investor eat
for
dinner?
Eat for dinner?
When you have 22 kids.
I know. Yeah, we had pork tenderloin, sourdough bread, and Mediterranean orzo salad. So
very well balanced.
Very
delicious.
Fancy. I know. Yeah. Good for your gut.
It's good for your gut. And when you're making that kind of passive income and you have all that time freedom, I think food tastes better. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times have in the old days, you work a long day and you come home and you're too exhausted even to eat. And like you're not even enjoying the food because you're so tired. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely experienced it, and it's, you know, it's weird. Like I hit, I don't know, maybe this is a little bit of a tangent, but I hit a point where I had a ton of time freedom, and then I ended up moving the opposite direction. I'm like, I actually really I want to fill up my time. So I just want to fill it up on my time, fill up my time on my terms, right? I want the flexibility, and so I like coming home after working hard, but I like to not have to, right? Like
Right.
I want to,
Right.
yeah. So
yeah, and I think that's the key is that you're choosing it. You want to do it, and you don't have to do it. And
yeah,
I'm the same way. Like I love my work, and there are hard days, but those days I chose. And if I choose to opt out, I can do that too. And it's nice having that total freedom, if you will. I think what happens is we end up kind of not choosing, and we get on this path that we didn't even know we chose because you talk to somebody else and they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this and this, and they're grinding and they're hustling. You're like, oh yeah, that I want to do that too. And then you're like, you step back like, I didn't want to do that. I was just copying that person, and you realize like you don't even want to do that. But I'd love to know what a day in the life of the Zen master's like. I mean, we should play the game. Like, let's guess, right? Like let's play a game. So, John, how do you assume Mike starts his day?
I think Mike gets up at like 4 a.m. and like hops straight into the ice bath.
Okay, 4 a.m, ice bath. Scott, what do you think?
What I think Mike does, I'm thinking about 7:30 in the morning. Gets up and has a nice hot tea made for him by his beautiful wife Laura. She even lays his socks out for him in the morning. So nice of her. And then I'm thinking a nice little walk in the neighborhood, followed by jujitsu a little later in the morning. Followed by, I don't know, little light lunch at home. Little land work in the afternoon. Family time later. Like that's it. Like Mike does an hour work a day, unless he's at the fire station, which
Yeah,
won't be
I mean,
much longer, hopefully.
I was gonna guess something similar. I was gonna guess breakfast with Laura, then jujitsu, then to because it's a tough workout, then the ice bath, and
Yeah.
then go visit family, spend time with some family, and then you're like, oh yeah, I should probably notarize a deed.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he probably doesn't. He probably has his virtual system with limited power of attorney. He probably doesn't even do that anymore. I don't know. Maybe he does some kind of work and feels productive.
I need to meet this guy.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, are we gonna have kibbe tonight or Italian?
What Scott calls it, meat pie.
The meat pie. So, Mike, what does the day look like for you?
Well, so first off, John, I don't think you went off on a tangent. I think this whole topic tonight is going to be totally tangent. In fact, I mean, a day in the life of an event investor could be very boring, right? I always tell people the good and bad news about our business. It's repeatable, it's redundant, AKA it's boring, but the boring nature serves us well, right? It's something we can systematize. I think I've heard you say before, Mark, it's not that we love land, it's the fact that land can be systematized, right? If there was something out there that came along that was better, I think we all would embrace it. We just haven't found that yet, right? Land is something that serves us. So you guys are kind of close with what you're saying. What I think is great about when you have some time freedom and when you develop some, income through land investing and things start to lighten. I think about this, Mark. I want to fire on all cylinders. When I say that, I think of, there's 4 F's: the family, the faith, the finance, and the fitness. I want all of those, right? And there's people out there that have some of them, but they're imbalanced, right? People that are very wealthy, but they don't have very good family relations, or they maybe not have good fitness, or you have really people who are really fit, but they don't have good finance. So I think all of us really embrace that, spending quality time with our family because we can now, helping them out. Now, faith, it could be religion, it could be spirituality, it could be mental cultivation, but anything that like resonates with you. And then, of course, finance that comes from all our deals, right? We're creating, as you said on one show a while back, Mike, I liked it. I loved it. When I started out, I was in debt to people, aka credit cards. Now people are in debt to me. So I've become the opposite, and that's pretty exciting. So I think really my day is all that, right? Get up in the morning, and yes, Laura does lay out my clothes. If I don't have socks, I don't know where to find them. I don't even know what drawer they're in anymore. I just like, Laura, no underwear. What do I do? So she really does take care of me. But then I'll go up, I do some light stretching, and I go out, have some tea, I go off to jujitsu. So you guys had a little bit of that. And I come back and I'll visit family at that time. And then I'll come back, and yes, then I remember, I have a land business, and I'll attend to a few tasks in there and work with some people on my team. But it's really nothing overly exciting. But I like that. I like the simple life where I can choose what I want to focus on, because that means that it's extreme. Of all the things I can focus on, these are the few things that I do focus on, and it makes them all the more important. So this is kind of a sort of a boring subject we're talking about tonight, but it's really important. But it's nothing. It's just that we live very simple lives that are fulfilling, I think.
No, I love that. I love the 4 Fs. Yeah, for sure. There's a book that just came out. I think it's a bestseller. Salil Bloom wrote about the 5 types of wealth, and the time wealth, the social wealth, the physical wealth, and did I say financial wealth?
Yeah.
Right. And then of course the spiritual wealth, right? Your faith wealth, and how important all those are. And I think it's a book really geared towards the younger people. Like, I think he wrote the book that he wanted to read when he was in his 20s, so that
Right.
people could live this more intentional life when they're younger, and have that in those frameworks. So, dude, buddy, Nite Cap OG, Scott Bossman. Before you tell us what your day's like, I think we should guess. So, John, what do you think Scott's life is like as a land investor? Like, how does he start his day?
I think he rolls out of bed, runs downstairs to his block of cheese, takes a big bite.
Stole mine. Stolen.
Yeah. Is it a block of cheese, or is it a cheese curd?
I just imagine a giant wheel. Like, he's just got it sitting on his dining room table. That's great.
Yeah. I can visualize that, and I feel like it really resonates. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I was going to go with the cheese curds. I think he just rolls out of bed, goes downstairs, has a cup of coffee, just reaches into a big bag of cheese curds, throws them out, and just on those, sipping the coffee, eating the cheese curds, thinking about his day, maybe taking the dog for a walk. I know that that's something he's definitely going to be doing. So I know there's something there. I know he's big with his family, so he's probably taking care of someone in the family, helping them out with whether it's school or something of that nature. And at some point he realizes again, oh yeah, there's a land business, and he starts to tend to it.
Yeah. My guess is similar, except he doesn't set an alarm. I feel like Erin, his beautiful wife, wakes him up and says, "Honey, go get us some cheese curds." And he's like, "You know what? I want to start my day with love and service." And so he goes downstairs, and he makes her coffee, and he puts in the right amount of cream and sugar, exactly the way she wants it. And then, a couple bowls of cheese curds, and they have like a cheese curd breakfast together. And then he decides, okay, I'm gonna work out. So he has like the Peloton and the what's the other one? Tonal. And he's like, oh, it's a tonal day. And he picks out his perfect instructor that he likes. And so he's got the perfect instructor, and he's like this great workout. And then I don't think he needs to do a cold plunge, because he can just step outside. So maybe he'll just step outside, get a little cold, take a shower, and then kind of start his day.
I could see him sliding with his flip flops and his sweatcedo out to the mailbox while his neighbors wonder, what is this guy? Slide, sweatcedo.
Right.
Coffee in one hand, cheese curds in the other. Doesn't know which one to put down to get the mail. Cheese curds, coffee, cheese. Grabs the mail, sticks under his arm, slides back into the house. The neighbors are like, "Who is this guy?"
I know, and you know the neighbors are all whispering like, "Is Scott a drug dealer? Like, what are the Bosmans doing? He's walking around in a sweatcedo, and it doesn't look like he works at all. And they're living this incredible life." Okay.
I think we've got some latecomers that miss that Scott is from Wisconsin. They're like, why are we all talking about cheese?
Yeah. I've done visited good cheese curds and land. Because land provides you the freedom, the flexibility to literally ingest as many cheese curds as you want on a daily basis. That's the life of land, Mr. Kyle.
There it is. There you have
true
it.
Freedom.
You guys are all very close.
Some version of truth in there, right?
There's a version of truth in there. Yes, for sure. I would say that my day is a combination of many of those things. I wouldn't say I have cheese every day, although I did have cheese today on a nice sourdough bread and made nice little hams. My specialty is sandwiches. So I make a lot of, I usually have every day or every other day, I make a nice sandwich and I make my wife a sandwich. So
wait, what kind of sandwich? Is it a turkey sandwich? Is it a bologna sandwich?
Oh, today was ham and cheese and pickles and sourdough bread. And a lot of times it's egg sandwich with bacon and cheese, a little bit of mustard. Chicken salad. I make a good chicken salad. So I'm a big sandwich guy. So,
chicken salad. Oh man.
Back when I was working, I didn't have the time to make a sandwich during the day. So there's a little serving others. I do like to serve others. I do like to be there for my kids and my wife, in whatever that entails. And this business has afforded me that luxury because when I started, I was working a lot and I wasn't able to do that. So now that I've gotten to a point where I'm literally working in my land business 1 or 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And some days I leave it alone, right? That's 1/10 of what I worked as a physical therapist. 1/10, right? Which is crazy to think about. And my land business brings in a lot more than I made as a physical therapist. So that just affords us all of these amazing opportunities, right? And I would say that I do like to serve myself. Right. So there's some self-care during the day. I love to read. I'm able to read more now than I ever have.
Okay. Can we just talk about the best book recommendation you've given me in 2025 for a second?
Of course.
Okay. Write this down, everybody. So and first of all, I recommend the audiobook, but Scott has changed my life for the better. The book is Shantaram. And then the sequel, which Scott told me about, is it the Mountain? What is it?
See, I recommended the sequel, but I haven't even read it yet. So I love that I've changed your life.
It's so good.
You never
I listened to it this morning.
I'm like one of his best.
The Mountain Shadow. The Mountain Shadow, sequel to Shantaram.
Yeah.
Can you spell
Gregory
that?
David Roberts.
Shantaram?
I'll put it in chat.
Yeah.
SH.
It is one of the best audiobooks. But Mark recommended it to me a couple of years ago. It is one of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to, Shantaram.
It's a combination of Goodfellas and Slumdog Millionaire.
But so much of it, Mark, he actually was in prison when he wrote that book. And it's like an epic. It's like a 40-hour long audiobook, right?
Yeah. And so was the sequel.
Is the sequel just as long? Yeah. And it's crazy is when he was writing the first one, he lost the manuscript. Like he lost half the book and he had to start over. Did you know that?
Well, I did not know that.
He lost it in prison. I mean, he had all the time in the world. He was in prison.
Yeah. Apple made a series of it. It's on Apple TV too. It's not nearly as good as the book.
But the sequel is as good as the original, or
53 hours.
It's worth going to the sequel. It's really well done. For
53
sure.
hours.
I don't know if it's as good,
Wow.
right? Like usually, unless you're Godfather 2, the sequel's never as good, right?
Right.
But
Mm.
it's really good.
I'm about to buy it with one of Laura's credits. She's not going to like you right now, Scott, because I'm going to steal a credit and I'm going
She's
to buy
fine.
it. Fuck.
She'll be all right.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm sorry I interrupted. So you like to read? What are you reading right now?
Right now, I'm actually reading a classic, East of Eden, which I hadn't read yet.
Oh, Steinbeck. I love that book.
So,
By the way, Dave Parmalee is the one that put me onto that book.
and
so
he
shout
actually
out to
recommended
Dave.
it to me as well. And then
Yeah.
for an entrepreneurial book, I'm reading Hidden Potential by Adam Grant. So I usually read like one fun book and one entrepreneurial book. And then I take care of myself. I like to exercise. So usually every day I'm either getting on the Peloton or doing the tonal, like you mentioned, or walking the dog. And yeah, it's like, can life be any better? And then I work, I'm literally down to half day a week as a physical therapist. They want me more, but I'm like, I'm good. So half day a week, I get to go work with the geriatric population, which is the most fun population to me and always has been. So I go spend a little time with them every Thursday morning.
Okay, what is your best tip for us to age well, and so that we don't end up in your office?
Ooh, that's a very one tip.
Okay, it's your top 5 tips.
Oh, top 5 tips. Well, you need to do some resistance training because some resistance training leads to greater bone density. So then you're going to have less risk for fractures, compression fractures, osteoarthritis, all that stuff. So some resistance training for sure. Daily walking for sure. Something to challenge your balance and agility. So yoga is good for balance. Tai Chi, that type of thing is good for balance. Even standing on one leg and, like, do you know the old man test for balance? You should be able to stand on one leg and put your sock and shoe on the other leg. And that means that you're at a very low risk of falls. So that's a good way to test you. That's a good way for you folks to test how good your balance is tomorrow. Can you stand on one leg and put your sock and shoe on the other leg? And if you can't, you're at a high risk of falls. So then you want to figure out, how do we make our balance better so that we're at less risk of falls? So that's number 3. Number 4, if you're sitting, you need to just do some postural exercises. So look up chin tucks and look up like lumbar extension exercises. Chin tuck is like this.
Wait, what is it?
Like this.
Like this?
Straight back. Yep.
We've really
then,
gone off the rails on the life of a land investor.
We
but
sure
I think
did.
It's all
But, I
valuable.
mean, you asked.
No, but I think it's all really valuable.
And yeah, as D. Ruiz says, drink lots of water. That'd probably be my fifth tip. Drink lots of water.
Resistance training, walking, balance, be able to stand on one leg and put your sock and shoe on.
Postural exercises.
Postural exercise.
And water. Yeah.
I'm 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say. John, what about you?
What about me?
Yeah.
For my tips for not coming to see Scott?
Yeah. I mean, no. Are you doing those things?
I am doing some of those things more. I have back issues, I think largely from bad posture habits, and then also from lugging children around in various improper positions. There was one time, last time I went, I like threw my back out really bad. It was from hugging my daughter. And
you're gonna throw your back out, though.
I know
That's the
it's
way
like,
to do it.
it's the
Good on
sweetest
you.
way to throw it out. Yeah.
That's true.
So, yeah, but it still hurt.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim Myers, by the way. That really means so much to me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you guys want to guess what the day in the life of me for me?
Oh, I think we should. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
let's play the game. Handsome Rob, you want to start?
Let's see. So I think Mark rolls out of bed. I'm gonna say, man, this is hard. I'm gonna say I can't tell if you're the type of person who sleeps in or who gets up really early. And I feel like it's either one or the other. I'm gonna say 5. 5 he gets up, and then we start reading. Drink a big glass of water. Let's see. Light breakfast. Go on a walk. Maybe head to, let's see, do a little bit of work, a little bit more reading, light lunch. Am I on point with any of this so far?
You're very close. You're very
Wow.
close.
I'm
Almost
very-
like you spent the night last night. And then
I'm secretly at your house right now, Mark. This is a virtual background.
Yeah. Awesome. Very close. Zen Master, what's your guess?
I'd say about 6 o'clock. You roll out of bed and then go into the closet, shut the door, and sit in the dock for about 4 hours.
Darkness, mini darkness retreat.
I know.
Okay.
I know that and I think you probably have creative thinking in this closet. You probably do some sort of meditation, gratefulness, sitting in the closet, all dark, nothing. Right there, that crisp, clean, early mindset, and then you emerge from there with your task for the day. Maybe I don't think you're doing coffee anymore, so you probably have some sort of a light tea, maybe a little honey, and then a nice walk, and then you start to check on the people on your team.
Huh. Okay. Close. For sure. Dude buddy, what's your guess?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess.
By the way, I love how you guys don't think I work out at all. Do you think I look like this? Do you think this just happens?
I haven't finished. I haven't gone yet. So I think you roll out of bed about 6:15 in the morning,
Okay.
6:15, and there's some sort of morning routine with maybe just sitting outside with a cup of hot tea or a glass of water, having some quiet time, some little meditation time, and then there's some physical activity in the morning, a walk or a hike maybe with Lainey, because I know you have beautiful hiking trails around there. And then you come back and you also serve, Mark. So I know you spend a few hours a day on Land Geek, which I think is great because you're helping a lot of other people achieve these goals of time freedom, which I think is amazing. And then land, you're not doing land. I mean, what are you down to, like one meeting every 2 weeks in land or something?
No, one meeting a week.
Oh, one meeting a week. Okay.
One meeting a week. Now things can pop up.
Yeah.
And I'll handle them. But basically, it's just how, what can I break? Right.
Right.
Which everybody loves. The team loves it.
The team. Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and then I'd say the afternoon, you'll definitely get some reading in the afternoon and a walk. You like the audiobooks. And then dinner, you guys eat dinner out like a lot because you're foodies. So there's a lot of eating out.
There's a lot of eating out. But Lainey's a great cook, though. We had
that's good.
A few nights ago, black cod, filet, wasabi mashed potatoes, a cucumber like Asian salad. It was phenomenal. Blistered shishito peppers. I'm telling you, it was so good.
What's black cod? I don't know why I've never had that.
Yeah. Oh, Jeremy, that's next week. About how tariffs will impact land investors. So black cod is I think it's an Alaskan cod. It's you usually get it like Nobu is famous for the black cod. Like typically high-end sushi restaurants will have black cod. It's very buttery. You can eat it with chopsticks. It's delicious.
It's not cooked. It's sushi.
No, it is cooked.
Okay.
Yeah. So you marinate it and then you cook it, and it's fantastic. It's not sushi. But okay, you guys are very close. So first of all, I'm a sleep nerd. So I really dial in my sleep. I have a thing called Eat Sleep. So it's this like pad that keeps me cool all night, and it uses AI to actually increase my REM sleep and my deep sleep. So there's no alarm because the mattress will slowly heat up, and I want to be up typically around 6:30. So that would give me 7 to 8 hours of sleep on average. Then when I get up, John was right. I'm drinking water and I'm taking my supplements, which would typically be, you know, my creatine, collagen. What else am I taking these days? Vitamin D, I'll take. Yeah, so some supplements. Then I have a thing called the X3 bar, and it is, as Scott would say, it's resistance training, but it's really good on the joints. So I do a very intense X3 bar workout, and usually it's either, depending on what that schedule is, if I have something on the calendar, usually my first meeting will be around 9 if I have a meeting on the calendar. So then depending on that time, I will either meditate for 20 minutes. After that workout or before that workout, I have something called a PEMF mat. So it's grounding me while I'm meditating. And then I'm not eating, I'm fasting. But I have this coffee alternative called Kamana, KAMANA.co. It is delicious, no caffeine, but I still get that morning ritual. It's mesquite. And for those of you who are interested in trying it, I highly recommend it. And you can get 15% off with the coupon code MARK. So definitely check that out. KAMANA.co. I love it. That's part of my morning ritual. Then I will walk to the mountain. So it's about a 3-mile walk from my place. And it's a beautiful walk. I want to be in nature. And then I'll take my cold shower, start my day. And definitely, I forgot to mention, I will journal. And I will also, Kimana.co, not com.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I'll journal, and I will also be reading. I'll be listening. Half that walk, I won't listen to anything. I'll just kind of be in my thoughts. And then on the way back, I'll be either listening to Shantaram audiobook or a business audiobook. And I'm always reading a book. So I think right now I got Constellations 2 by David White, just one of those books you can pick up and read. It's phenomenal. As well as Jefferson Fisher. Is it Jefferson Fisher, that lawyer's book about communication, which I'm really enjoying as well. And and so that's typically my morning routine.
What's this pad called? You kind of skipped over that. You sleep on?
Oh, I have to give you the brand. It's a PEMF mat. It's fantastic.
You exercise on it?
No. I meditate on it.
You meditate on it.
And before bed, I'll actually lay on it. It'll kind of like make you sleepy. It's got a bunch of different.
When you're sleeping, what's the one that changes temperature when you're sleeping on it?
8 sleep.
8 sleep.
The number 8 sleep. It is fantastic. I was telling Lainey the other day, if I had to get rid of all my possessions, the last one I'd want to get rid of is that 8 sleep. What about you, John? You gotta get rid of everything. What's the last thing you'd want to get rid of?
I don't know. I think I'd be sentimental and just say like all of my photos of my kids.
It's a possession, like a thing that you
possession.
Buy.
Can't be digital.
Like it's not like the house is on fire and you got to grab something. Like no, you've lost everything, but you still. I mean, you have your photos, you have your family, you still have all that. But what's that last thing you wouldn't want to sell?
I think like
you're like a 40
I would
acre
probably. I mean, if I had to do like something that I own, I'd probably say my Kindle. Honestly, like I read a lot on my Kindle, and then I've got a coming for my birthday. There's a Kindle Scribe that you can write on. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the Notable, but it's the Kindle knockoff version. And so, which I'm very excited about. So
Very cool.
that's
I have
probably
the
what
Remarkable.
oh yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. The Remarkable.
Yeah.
It's the Amazon knockoff of the Remarkable.
Yeah. No, those are fun. Zen Master, what about you?
Also,
Somehow I feel like we're going off the rails, but maybe not. Like, this is the life of a land investor. Like, you're getting an insight of how actually we have the systems and processes and the people so that we can live our best lives and we have that freedom. And this is what we're doing with the freedom.
I agree. So I would probably, my one possession would be what I call my wooden man. I know it's a martial arts device that I inherited from a close friend and teacher of mine 30 years ago. And I use it wherever I go. I set it up. It's something I can practice moves on. And I feel like I have this sort of energetic relationship with it. And I don't know, it's just beautiful.
Wow. That is beautiful. Can I change my answer now? Because I'd pick something sentimental too. How about not sentimental?
Not sentimental?
Yeah.
Well, it's functional.
You're making all of us look bad.
Well, it's functional too. It's just like you're mad. It's something I do that brings me peace of mind and calm. It centers me. So I don't think it's just sentimental. It's everything.
Okay. That's awesome. It's called a wooden man.
Yeah,
How do we get this wooden man?
You'd have to make one. I mean, you can buy some, but this is specially made for the particular style that my friend practiced and showed me.
I kind of feel like this wooden man could be part of like that Kill Bill scene where it's like that, that artisan made that blade and there's only like 7 in the world. Is this that kind of thing?
No, I don't think it's like that, but it's special to me. I love it.
Awesome. And I don't mean to mock it.
No, I don't think it that way.
Yeah. Dude, buddy, what about you?
So I have kind of a cool thing in my office. I have all of my tapes and CDs from when I grew up on the wall, and I have this device that is like a hybrid turntable, CD player, tape player, Bluetooth player, and every day I just put music on, and it's like a nostalgia day in my office. It's kind of fun, and I keep adding to my collection over time. CDs that maybe I wanted to get at some point or another that I skipped over. My son goes to college at the University of Wisconsin, and just down the street from him, there's this amazing CD and album shop. So we go there all the time, and I pick up some new things here and there. I just got a very rare Dave Matthews CD last week, and so that's just kind of my cool thing. So my little music collection, I think, that's plastered on my wall here in my office. I love it.
Okay, so you've got to pick one CD.
It's impossible.
No, you have to pick it, and then you just have to listen to it all over and over again on a desert island. What would you pick? I know what I would pick.
All right. Well, I'd probably pick Joshua Tree. Oh,
okay.
The shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah, I love it. I would pick the Beatles White Album.
Yeah, it's an amazing album.
Yeah. John, what about you?
Oh man, that's hard. I'd probably do the Beatles. I would probably do. I mean, I grew up with. I know it's not like one of their original albums, but the One album was one that we had when I was a kid, and I listened to that a lot.
All the greatest hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zen Master, how about you?
Maybe a little Enya. You know Enya, right?
Yeah, we do. That's why we're laughing.
Mike.
We're from Joshua Tree, the Beatles. Mike, this is it. Like, you just don't listen to Enya?
Yeah, I want to be chill on that island. I want to be really chill. And
Right. Boat will come by to save you. He'll say, just keep going. I'm having a good time.
Yeah. Okay, let's not. Mike, he's like, must be in the wrong podcast. Land investing? Yeah. This is the day in the life of a land investor. Okay, so what do we actually do when we're actually, doing our work?
Good
John,
question.
what is your work in land investing look like?
Yeah, so for me, like sometimes my team will escalate properties up to me if they're wondering if this is a particularly good deal or something that we wanna do. And so I'll look at it and I'll give the thumbs up or thumbs down. Um, and then I will like
And I think we should get some
me.
context. How long have you been land investing?
It's been 7.5 years.
7.5 years. So you're CEO of a land business, which is
Mhm.
what we coach people how to do, because it's not, you don't want to be in the business. You want to create a business that's this passive income machine. So again, it's kind of boring, but we're not in the day to day. It's not like John's out looking at property,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of people might think that that's like the day of a land investor, but that's not what we do. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, properties get escalated to me and I'll review them if the team is wondering if it's a good deal or not. I like to do working meetings with team members, and so there are certain team members that I'll meet with like on a weekly basis, and we'll just review everything. So I've got, one person that might work on some projects with me, and she does customer service, and I'll just say, is there anything that you need help with? Are there anything that I need to do? So that was about a 10-minute meeting. I did another working meeting with an acquisitions guy, and we talked about where we wanted to market to acquire property, and built out a basic strategy for that. That was about a 30-minute meeting. And then my executive assistant, I met with her and we just talked about team dynamics and how we were going to continue to build that and all kinds of stuff. And that was probably a 45-minute meeting. And so that was a lot of the time I spent in the business today. So sometimes, like right now, I'm looking at potentially revamping my website. So I was looking at that and just thinking about the direction I wanted to go, and then just decided I was going to hire a developer. and so just posted it on Fiverr. So that was kind of, those are the things that I focused on today. So it was a few short meetings and then thinking about, strategic direction for the company.
So your day is leadership and judgment, basically,
Yeah.
which is what a CEO does. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, it's similar vein. I think, you check in your team, see if they need anything, something. Are you okay? Is there anything you need? Anything I can do to support you? But also something, you said earlier about working on and not in the business, but we always talk about you can retain the things that you do enjoy. There's no rule that says you have to outsource everything, delegate everything. For me, I love deal evaluation. I just love seeing the deals. It's perhaps if I wasn't land investing, I'd be scratching tickets. I just like that, that thrill of seeing the new deal coming in and looking at the numbers. So that's where I'd spend my time if I would have spent, when I do spend time, just looking at deals, deal evaluation. But again, supporting and making sure that they have everything they need. And, then there's always refining, something we always talk about, looking at your swim lanes, looking at your processes, looking at your workflows. Is there a way that they can be improved? Asking the people that work for you, is there a way that we could do this better? Do you have any suggestions? Being open to that.
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of leadership is your day and judgment. How, what's the best way I can help you? Yet still reserving the right to do what you love to do.
Yeah.
In the business. Dude, buddy, how about you?
Yeah, I'd say it's much the same as what John and Mike were talking about. I think that something that might be helpful to convey to people who are watching if they've just found us is that, we're all pretty established in the business. Mike, 10 plus years. I'm coming up on 10 years. John's over 7 years. Mark, 25 years, right? I think that if you're first starting this, I think if you just move forward with the notion that, hey, I'm going to spend 10 hours a week on this for the next few years. And with 10 hours a week, you can move the needle in your life, right? And what will happen with that 10 hours a week is that it will gradually change. The duties will change. In the beginning, there's just a lot of learning and doing, right? And then after you've learned, you know, we have a great program called Flight School, which I believe teaches you probably 80% of what you need to know in the business, and the remaining 20% you learn with time and repetition. So after you get through the learning phase, then you will continue to learn a little bit more, but it's about 80% doing, 20% learning at that point. And then you just continue forward at that pace, right? So if you can just commit 10 hours a week for the next 3 to 5 years and do now what most people won't do, Zig Ziglar, right? You're going to change your life. And if you can just continue forward at 10 hours a week in this business, which is what I do now, 5 to 10 hours a week. What do? I do deal analysis. I do refining of processes. I check in with my team, right? You might have to like change your team based on some performance things you're seeing. So things just shift over time and duties change over time, but it's still the 10 hours a week that I had initially, really, when you think about it. It's just I'm not working a 50-hour job a week on top of it.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I do.
So that's the day in the life of a land investor. I'm more at the chairman stage now as opposed to CEO. And so I'm just kind of looking at the numbers and looking at other various strategies and checking it in that way. But I've been doing it for 25 years. It didn't start that way. I mean, I grinded for a long time. I made lots of mistakes. And now I teach people so that they don't make the mistakes I made and don't build themselves another job, which is really the key to all of this, because you don't want another job. You want to have that freedom so you can come on this podcast and talk about your crazy 3 morning routine and the things that you like to do. And then have people be like, hey, I thought we were talking land investing. But no, this is what we do now.
Yeah.
And this is what our life is like as land investors, because we put in the time, we made the effort, we took a risk with our money, and we bought raw land. We created a process, we created a system, and we just did it again and again and again. And we built team, we built processes, we built systems, we built automation, and we have a machine. And then just every day, we're just tweaking that machine to make it better and smoother so that we can live our best lives. And I think that to John's point, you do get that existential crisis period where it's like, well, what am I going to do with my life? And when you have 6 children like John, he wants to show those kids he works. And I think that's noble. He doesn't want them to think, oh, there's no work ethic in the Burnett home. There is. Dad and mom work. And this is what our work looks like. But that's his choice. Where my kids are older now, and they can see dad travels, right? In enjoying my life at this stage of my life. But when they were younger, I definitely worked very hard and wanted to show them what a work ethic was, and whatever had to be done, I would do, even if it was something I didn't want to do. And then got to the point, it's like, oh, wait, I can delegate this, or I can outsource this. I can teach this process so I can have that freedom. Mike, what about you? I mean, what's your advice to someone listening to this?
Well, something that was coming up as you were all talking is, we're talking about what we do, but how about what we don't do? We don't micromanage. I think that was something that's kept from all the discussions we're having here. It's got me thinking about that. I often reference when I'm telling people about our business as a local grocery chain around here. And, every generation, the new generation takes it over, over and over. They pass it down the family. But they start out, the next generation starts out pushing carts, bagging groceries, working in the milk and cheese aisle. And then, as they go along, the tasks may get more difficult. They go into the meat departments. There's more chance of, getting hurt or whatnot. And eventually they know the whole business. So we have to go through that process in the beginning, right? We have to go through. So, and I don't want to ruin the word from last week, but to something. We don't want to do that, right? We don't want to outsource something too soon. We have to understand it. But some things, like how long does it take to understand? You take the cart from the parking lot and you bring it back inside where people can use it. Or you bag groceries, you don't put the breakables on the bottom. There's things you can learn quickly. Other things take time. But you won't see the manager at the very end when he finally gets to that position coming down and showing the kid how to, grab the cart. You're doing the cart wrong. Oh, you're not bagging the. You don't see that because they're not micromanaging. They have already trained these people into these positions. So I was just thinking that as we were going around talking about what we do, but I was saying, well, what don't we do? Yeah, we don't micromanage. We allow them to fall into their position. We allow them to blossom and make recommendations and to excel.
Yeah, we don't do everything. We really focus on what we do best. And we create those swim lanes to get the people who are in their zone of genius to do what they do best, and then let them run with these. But there's guardrails. I mean, there's accountability.
Yeah.
And there's systems and processes. But for sure, that's how you build a sustainable business. Dude, buddy, what about you?
What's the question exactly?
What are you doing in the business?
What am I doing? Yeah. Just same stuff as Mike and John, right? CEO. I'm not quite to the level of Mark Podolsky, but I have another 15 years, right, to get to grow it to the point where.
Well, the nice thing about you in those 15 years is you're gonna have balance and strength.
Yeah, exactly.
Good posture.
Good posture.
You're going to age gracefully. Like the three of us, we're going to have to be like in your clinic.
Yeah.
You're like, I told you to do those chin ups.
Yeah. Chin tucks.
Chin tucks. Exactly. Chin tuck.
Chin tuck's very important. But yeah, no, I think I just approach each day as like, okay, what can we do to improve things? What can we do to become more efficient? And there's been a little bit of a shift also in, I guess, my mindset regarding the business. Initially, I was in it for me and my family. Now I'm in it for like, we actually have a nice team like over in the Philippines, right? And it feels good to be able to give folks work and to see the things that they do to help us. I don't know. It's rewarding, right? I know you know that, Mark. So that's rewarding. And I've kind of had a mindset shift also with just the people we sell to. When you think about it, because for people tuning in, maybe they don't know, like we buy most of our land for less than $5,000. And then we sell it for, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, something like that. Like those are our bread and butter deals. When we sell those properties on owner financing, we're actually selling to a lot of people who maybe wouldn't be able to afford a property for cash. Maybe they don't have 10 or 20 or 30 in the bank right now to pay outright for a property. So we're selling to them on owner financing, and we're helping people become landowners at $100 or $200 or $300 a month. And but I've been in this long enough now to get like thank you letters from people. Like you're helping people, their dreams are coming true, and it's pretty cool. So, I'm getting letters now from people who we sold them land 5 years ago and they built an amazing house on the land. And they're like, hey, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to buy this land from you for, $200 a month. And so I don't know. I think it's fun business in that regard. And, some people think, oh, you're buying land at a deep discount. That's sleazy. And you're selling to people at an inflated price, blah, blah, blah. That's sleazy. It's not actually. We're helping people on the buy side and helping people on the sell side. So I'm just enjoying that part of the business more, I think, as time goes on.
Yeah, I love that. I think that, all along the line that value is there because we're helping somebody who bought this asset. Now they're tired of paying the property taxes. And so we get the option and the opportunity now to help them out because now it's a liability. So we're buying it from them, and they take that money and do something more productive with it.
Mhm.
And they might not even be paying taxes. So then we're going to go and sell that property to somebody who's going to pay the property taxes. They're going to improve the county schools and hospitals and roads. So it helps the county. But then you're helping somebody get this asset that lasts forever. They don't have to maintain, they don't have to protect. And typically what we're looking for are properties that have no restrictions. They can do whatever they want out there. Build your dream yurt. Use it recreationally. Whatever you want to do, it's yours, and it can't be destroyed. I don't think we talk about enough like the rewarding feelings of the buy side and the sell side as well. And there's a great book by David Brooks, because we're all big readers, called The Second Mountain. The first mountain is very egoic, and you do what culture says to do, right? You study hard in school, you get the education, and you get the good job, and you get the stuff, right? You get the house and the cars and the vacations and all the things that you think it's going to make you happy, right? Society says, oh, this will make you happy, and you get it all, and then you get up that mountain, you're like, this is empty. So you go to the second mountain. The second mountain is a way harder mountain to climb. There's no top to it, but it's way more fulfilling. It's about, love and intimacy in your relationships. It's about faith and spirituality. It's about your community. It's about, this isn't a job anymore. It's your vocation. This is what you're meant to do in life. And so as we talk about, the life of a land investor, I don't want anybody to get the impression that we're just out playing golf. Like, we are doing these things that are very rewarding, not just for ourselves and our family, but also our community, and also allow us to deepen ourselves individually on that second mountain as we go up that, and have that time and energy and freedom to really improve other people's lives. John, I talked a lot there. I feel like you had something you want to say.
Oh, I mean, I'm just listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I don't know, just having been in this business for 7 years, there's definitely been transitional points, and having been in the grind, and like the life of a land investor for me looks very different in different seasons. I think what Scott said is really true, which is that you spend 5 to 10 hours in the business, and that kind of follows you, right? And so for me, like, it's still the same thing. It's still 5 to 10 hours. But I do remember pivotal transition points. Like, when I quit my job, I remember sitting down with Valerie, and we took out my computer and we recorded a video of just talking about what life was like. Just want to remember, right?
Wow, that's awesome.
We wanted to remember. Yeah. And I just saw it the other day. But it's just crazy. It's crazy, the life we have right now, right? Crazy in a number of ways. 6 kids is crazy, but it is, it's wonderful. It's wonderful to have freedom and to be able to focus on the things you want and to just fill up your life. And there's something freeing about having the ability to work on what you want, right? So not doing something because you have to, but because you want to, right? And you can create some awesome things when you have that level of freedom in your life. And so it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm getting goosies thinking about that video. What a great idea.
It's a great idea.
I'm going to do that tonight. I think it's really, did they look back a year from now and then make another video? I think that's really a cool idea. Zen Master, do you want to land this plane?
Well, that was great, by the way, John. I something Scott said, I think a lot of times people think, well, who are you buying this from? Are you taking advantage of them? This and all that. And I think one thing I tell people to help them frame this whole business to make it really just palpable is that we all have items, whether or not, in my garage, I got a bike or something here that I bought years ago. Maybe I paid $400 for it, but if someone came today and said, I'll give you $100 for it, I'd be like, take it. And do I care if they made $200 with it? No, I'm done. I'm emotionally detached from that. I don't want it. This land is no different. These people don't live near the land. They're emotionally detached. They don't want it anymore. We come along, we do solve the problem. And so I think when you frame it that way, this is just an asset. It's just like buying that bike from somebody or that something that they just don't use anymore and they're not attached to it. And we provide a solution. So in no way, shape, or form are we taking advantage of them. We're just helping them out. And then, like you said, we flip over and help the next person. We're truly in the middle of two dreams, right? We had someone who had a dream years ago. They bought the property for a very specific reason. And maybe they did use it for that reason. Maybe they did go camp with their kids and use it, but then the kids grew up and then the property is sitting there and it's like you said, taxes are accumulating and whatnot. They're done with it. We come and we rescue that property from them. And then we hand it off to someone whose dream is bubbling up again. So we're truly sitting in the middle of two dreams and just making good things happen on both sides. We're facilitating.
I love it. I love it. Next week, we're going to be talking about tariffs in the economy and getting back to more of the nuts and bolts of land and the business and the economy. So stay tuned for that next week. I know our email went out. We were supposed to talk about tariffs and, economic insecurity and what we're doing in our land business, maybe what pivots we're making ourselves. So stay tuned for that next week on Nite Cap. Dude, buddy, what do you think of it? Was this a good show?
It was a good show.
Or do you think we lost everybody like in the first 20 minutes where, we're talking about our routines?
I think we may have lost some people, but I bet some people loved it, in all honesty, because it's fun to hear about the possibilities. And we're now a little bit further along this journey to where the possibilities have come true. And that's why Land Geek exists, is to help other people realize those possibilities, right? So that's why we're here. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And we'll talk more nuts and bolts. We'll do that next week. But it's not only nuts and bolts, this business, it's what comes with it. Like John says, it's a lifestyle business, right? So it brings us time freedom, brings us financial security, brings us family freedom, brings us location freedom. So cheers to all that. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll see you guys next week.
Cheers.
Thanks, everybody.